Hello.
Can you hear us
Will there be
now?
a delay?
There will be.
Can you hear me?
Should sound now. And don't take us again, strikes. Aye. Fuck off.
Mate. Robbie won't be the only one getting fucking sick.
I know.
And don't play the audio.
Yeah.
Arsehole. Should be hearing it now.
Anyway, sound.
Can you hear us now?
Sound.
Yes, no, yes,
Golden.
no.
Yeah, I can hear me talking, so that's good. We're good. We're good.
Well,
We're good.
nobody wants that. Right, let's start
Oh,
again.
Ando, your mic's fucked. You need to swap. Genuinely.
It's alright, I've already swapped it. It's fine. I'll use chat away. I'll fix that in the background. Same thing fucking happened again.
Right. Wow. The joys of YouTube broadcasting. Right. The most important question. Can you hear me? I'm the most important. Can you hear me? Confirmed that they can my adoring public hear me?
We can hear you, but Ando, honestly, you're after changing your headset, it's worse. Everyone's saying you sound like a robot.
Right. Well,
This is so professional. Just carry on, man.
Do you know what this is like? This is like going to doing 2-0 at home to St Mirren and going to 5 at the back and bringing on a left back to solve your problems, isn't it? This is what it's like.
If you're looking for a left back, we'll put another one on anyway. That's fine.
We'll put another one on, mate. We might as well. We're only chasing a 2-goal lead to save the season, save your job. Right, let's start again. Yes! Yes! I'm fucking delighted. Hello, everybody. Like I said, we were planning on having a podcast tonight and going apoplectic about how shit Hearts were. But then at 5 o'clock this afternoon, Heart of Midlothian Football Club announced that Robbie Neilson was no longer the manager, and they have turned my frown upside down, and I am fucking delighted. So I've got 5 things written down on my sheet of paper. One is Robbie's gone, ! Smiley face. Then 4 questions, and we'll go to YouTube as well, and we'll try and answer them as much as we can, which is, why is he being sacked? Let's talk about it, because again, there'll be idiots out there, not Hearts fans, and some Hearts fans potentially as well, that will be disgusted at this, won't understand it, will play the Friends Act, all that sort of stuff, and try and justify why we should have just stuck with a sinking ship to the end of the season. What went wrong? Talk about how can we have the best squad outside of the Old Firm, having spent nearly £2.5 million in the summer, and now be 1 point in front of St Mirren, and looking today, thanking our lucky stars that the shite from the other side of the city got beat, because we could have genuinely finished next Saturday afternoon, 6th, having sat 14 points, 15 points, 16 points in front of everybody below us at some point. Who next? Who do we want as a manager? Who do you think we'll see be in the hot seat to the end of the season? And for me, the number one question, because as much as today, for me, is the right decision, and obviously we'll dive into we'll talk about Robbie and his record and what he's done for the club and all that sort of stuff, because the man deserves some respect, and we will talk about that. But can we save the season? Because we can blame Robbie all we want, but what we seen on Saturday was professional football players give up. Robert Snodgrass, you will not convince me, did not deliberately get sent off. A professional football player played at the highest level, diving into fucking stupid tackles after already being on a booking. He wanted at the firing line. He didn't want to play in the derby. He knew the ship was sinking. He did that because he didn't want to be out there. So the players have to take a fucking massive look at themselves as well, give themselves a shake. So that's basically what I've got there, but we'll spend most of the time, boys, just gone through the Twitter questions. Thanks to everybody for getting involved, and everybody on YouTube for asking the questions. So, Ando, you sounding any better?
Probably not. I think I've unfucked it now, so it's all good. Someone will tell me in the live chat if they can't hear me, but I'm back and
cool,
ready to go.
Well, Ando, we did say during the week you weren't to come. I said don't come to the game on Saturday, and what did you do?
Last minute decision to drive 5.5 hours round trip, only to have what would otherwise have been a great Saturday spoiled by a shite football team. And I know we joked about it last week, saying that if I come up, I'll be the touch of death, because that's always the fucking case. And then what happened? Exactly that. So I don't know. Is it me you've got to thank? Probably.
Can I ask a question?
No.
Did Corbett actually pay you like £100 to come up just so that Robbie would get something like that?
just to try and get it done. Tam, anything straight away for Twitter or whatever that we haven't said that we'll potentially cover or anything like that just now?
Pretty much covering. I'm not gonna lie, this is the busiest one we've ever had, and you know I struggle with like 40 folks, so class.
Brilliant. Right, well, let's dive into it then. First thing.
If anyone has any questions we've not covered, feel free to ask them, and we'll go through it essentially.
So, why has he been sacked? Right, first things first. I tweeted it. Purposely didn't. I was going to tweet it 15 minutes into the game, but then obviously we had the minutes applause for young Andrew and all that sort of stuff. And first we'll start by saying well done. Shout out to the Gorgie Ultras and that as well. As we top thing before the game was class. They also let like all his wee pals helped us make it. Andrew's dad and that was there as well. Helped us make it, and they all wrote, you know, if you could have seen it on the Hangway, but on the numbers, they all wrote like wee special messages for him and all that sort of stuff. So fair play for a fitting tribute to a young boy. Nobody should be burying a son at 15-year-old. Like, so my thoughts, as we've said before, are with his friends and family. We're always about, if anybody needs to talk or wants to talk, we're always here for you. So that was about, strangely, the only positive or poignant thing that happened on Saturday. But I was going to tweet to say, 15 minutes. For me, Ando, the opening 15 minutes on Saturday was the most important bit of the whole game for me, because we've heard the bollocks for get beat at Celtic Park, get beat by Celtic at Tynecastle. We're going to see a reaction. We've spoke about it. We need to do better. We need to do this. We need to do that. Then we lose to Aberdeen 3-0 and it's panic stations. We're going to have panic talks and all that. And then we lose to Kilmarnock. 15 minutes into that game, you can tell whether or not the players are buying into what Robbie's selling, and we were flat as fuck.
Yeah, absolutely. The bit that got me within the first sort of 5 to 10 minutes is whenever the ball was with any of the back players, defensive players, they were just static. We weren't running at all. It was a case of, right, I'm not even taking a step. I'm just going to hoof it as far as I can. I don't want to be the owner of the ball just now. Shirking possession, getting rid of it. That's not a team that's striving to make repairs for how shite they've been in the last few weeks. It was absolutely abject. And then that just got worse the further you got up the park. Started for the back, absolutely terrible. All hands down, one of the worst performances I've seen for a long time.
Tam, you weren't at the game on Saturday, you watched it on TV. Yep. Was it the same? Was it, what it's like watching on the telly is totally different to being at the game or whatever, but is that how it looked watching it on the telly?
Mate, I was nearly falling asleep. Like, genuinely within 20 minutes. I was a wee bit hungover and I was just like, this is shite. No excitement, no energy, none. Exactly that.
It was so predictable. And again, I've said it before and it's like banging my head off a brick wall. The same shite. We didn't stop doing the short by kicks until we were 2-0 down. And then we started just smashing it long. And it was like the no plan B, the just stick to plan A. The fact that, and we'll talk about it in a minute as well. See, when St Mirren scored the first goal, I watched Robbie, Lee McCulloch and Gordon Forrest on the bench. They sat gathered round an iPad for 5 minutes until St Mirren scored again. And nobody will convince me any different that they weren't watching that to try and see if there's a push. They wanted there to be a foul. They wanted there to be something so that they could moan and greet about everything or whatever. And then I think the only person they had warming up was Humphreys. And then we go 2-0 down and he brings on another defender and we go 5 at the back. And that for me was like, this is curtains. We are game over here.
Absolutely. To be honest, even you look at 2-0 down, you look at anyone stepping up to make a difference. There was nothing, was there? It's the exact same as you talked about the first 15 minutes in terms of a reaction, but 2-0 down, was there a reaction? No. 1-0 down, was there a reaction? Right. No.
To carry on the theme of this very professional podcast, I'll be back in 2 seconds because I can hear that my little girls are in the bed. So I'll be back in 2 seconds.
This is we've hit a new low. Like normally you have to go away for a 30-second piss because you've got the bladder of a fucking midget, but you've right to carry on.
Why don't we go over some questions then? Andy?
I try and make it sound professional. I fucking go.
So we have Twitter questions. I came out and asked this. This isn't the one that actually Corbett said, but we'll probably come back to this. But what style of football would you like to see Hearts play? Which manager could realistically bring that to and implement this style?
Can I just...
Fucking hell, that's for a lot smarter people than me.
Exactly, right.
Fucking hell.
What style of football? I just want to see a fucking winning style, right? I don't care, right? Like between now and the end of the season, all I care about is getting that third place. And it's part of a probably a larger topic that we'll wait for Corbett to get back for. But there's like. I have to keep the powder dry. But all right, go for it.
You know what? I want a style that doesn't change week in, week out, because every week we don't know what team was turning up under Neilson, especially since the turn of the year there. We didn't know who was playing where, what formation. Well, we knew it would be a back fucking three, but we never had the same starting lineup. He didn't know his same fucking starting 11, best starting 11.
No,
we need that going forward, don't we?
Definitely didn't know his best 11, and that's not helped. I'm not going to use the whole Michael Stewart excuse that he uses on Radio Scotland all the time of, you've got half a team that are out injured. That's fine, right? You know what? Every team's got injuries. I know we probably had more than most, but at the end of the day, you should still know the best shape and the best starting 11 for what you've got left. What the fuck are you doing for 9 hours in training every single day, Monday to Friday, or whatever it is they do? Yeah. It's like to not know that is unbelievable. Is Corbett in his boxers?
He was, and it showed to everyone there that he was in his boxers. So everyone can rewind to get a.
My shorts. I did exactly what all good dads did. I shouted them out. So.
Fair.
There we go.
We were just talking a question from Twitter about what style we want to see going forward.
Too intelligent a question for me to answer.
Yeah, we fucked it essentially. So I'm glad you're back.
Well, I'm good to be back.
Cheers.
Not anything that isn't possession for possession's sake. Again, Hearts topped the charts for possession on Saturday, but did the sum total of fuck all with it. I watched it, honestly, reverse to the start of the season when we podcast and we spoke about George Grant, for example, right? Waxed lyrical about how refreshing it was to see a player take the ball in the half turn, face anybody that wasn't Craig Gordon, face the opposition goal and look to go forward. It was brilliant. He's been coached to a fucking inch of his life and he no longer does that. Every touch he takes, he faces Mikey Smith or Alex Cochrane. He passes it back inside to Robert Snodgrass and Robert Snodgrass passes it back to the goalkeeper. It's like, so whatever we do, whoever we get in, we've got to be, and this is something that we've not said for a long time as well, we've got to be more direct. We've got to be hard to beat. That's what's missing in all this. That's what Nacont's talking about, right? Is we have conceded a shit load of goals. We concede nearly every single week, and we concede the same goal every single week. We concede from one of two scenarios every single week, which is long ball over the top that we can't deal with, or a ball into the box that we didn't deal with. And St Mirren scored both on Saturday. It was a shambles. So in terms of style, honestly, it doesn't matter about formations. I know that it does, right? But you can play players and play the best players in the best position, etc. etc. It's not about that. It's about addressing the fundamentals right this very second that are missing in every single game. Having a bit of courage on the ball, do something a bit different, have a shot. I think somebody had a shot in the second half. I knocked in. Can't remember who it was, but I was like, Mikey Smith, it might have been. I was like, at least he's fucking had a shot. how many times does the ball come out to us 25 yards, 20 yards out, and nobody shoots? It was Stephen Kingsley actually dragged it wide, but at least somebody had a shot. So I don't know. Right now, I didn't care. I'm just glad that the club have acted and got rid of Robbie Neilson.
Are you surprised about that, by the way? Because I am. That they've actually acted.
No. I've been bullish. I've been bullish on that front, and you know what I'm like. If I didn't fully expect this to happen, I would have been more vocal on Twitter. We all have. We've sat in front of Joe Savage. We've been lucky enough to sit in front of Andrew McKinley and that as well. It's different. It's different for the last time where Craig Levein had all his pals in all the right positions and all that sort of stuff, and basically he had to sack himself, right? There's been pressure on Robbie from people above from the start. We sat there the very first time we ever spoke to Joe Savage and said, you know, this is the expectations, this is what we want to do. After last year's cup final, the first time, you know, the Sunday after, Joe Savage, let's talk to Robbie. What was that all about? Blah, blah, blah. Like, the only reason I haven't been apoplectic on Twitter is because I fully trusted that the club would do this, because they've spent
Here's the next question then, right? So you're not surprised that they've acted, and I completely understand that. But do you think it's the right time to act?
Well, the thing that let's look at numbers, right? Saturday, I believe, was our 20th defeat of the season. We've won 17 games, right? He has won 3 away games all season long. He has won no away games in 2023. He's won 9 away games in the last 2 seasons. 14 consecutive defeats to Celtic and Rangers. His European outings were abysmal. Again, injuries, a step up in class, yes, all of that I get, but we made the same mistakes game after game, and we got spanked at Tynecastle. Away from home, fine, but I've watched Hearts go toe-to-toe with Bordeaux, Stuttgart, fucking French Varos, or Werder Bremen, or whoever it's been. Like, we went toe-to-toe with Liverpool. We got spanked by Tottenham, fine. But we got spanked by everybody, and we were clinging on for dear life to beat fucking part-time Riga at Tynecastle when we should have blew them up the water. He has got no leg to stand on. And what happened on Saturday, and why I knew that Saturday would be the final straw, was the only thing he was clinging on to is the fact that he hadn't been beat at home from anybody outside the Old Firm in the league since Dundee in I think you said October or something, February 2021 or something stupid like that. We got beat by St Mirren at home. And I knew that was it. There was nothing left for Robbie to cling on to. When you lose at home in the manner that we did, it was game.
See, one of the bits for me, and I've been chewing this over in the small amount of time it's been since his sacking was announced, is that overall, is it the right time? I would say probably not, but we can get into the nitty gritty of that in a little bit more time. But if you imagine we go to Easter Road and win next week, right? Like even if you went there and win 4-0, right? That's just papering over the cracks, because you know that you're going to be facing Ross County at home the week after. They're going to be bringing something down from the Highlands, and let's be honest, Ross County are shite. You would expect to beat them at home, but you would expect to beat St Mirren at home. And if you don't get that result against Ross County, that's your season fucked, because you're in 4th, right? Gone is guaranteed group football. It becomes really difficult to sack them in the aftermath of a victory against Hibs. Then you sack him after Ross County. All you've done is delayed the inevitable, when you could have done it a fortnight ago after you've been horsed off St Mirren. So I don't think the timing is right, but I'm glad that they've done it now, if that makes sense. Personally speaking, it's going to be controversial. I probably would have let it run till the end of the season.
So I think the difference is, so we all know the rumours, and we've all heard rumours, right? It was pretty evident on Saturday that these players aren't playing for Robbie, and I think that's what they. So if we'd went out and played, but my point is, Tam, that you can get beat, right? You can go out and play really well and get beat. We got beat 3-1 at Celtic Park. We actually played well. You know, we went for 60 minutes, etc. Celtic are a good team, a really good team. Their quality will shine through. So if you end up getting scudded because they're too good and they're better than you, then you put your hands up and say, fine. So you can get beat, but it was the manner in which we got beat. We said, Robbie talked the talk. He said, oh, it's only a handful of games we've lost. Not fucking isn't he? Do you know what I mean? Not no. He said about block out the noise after Kilmarnock, etc., etc. No, don't block out the noise. Fucking listen, because when a fat guy for the tiny arms can sit there and can outmanage you, then why are you surprised that Stephen Robinson, who's doing great with St Mirren, can outmanage you? That Derek McInnes, who's always had your number, can outmanage you? Like, how can you not see that? And we can see that. Do you know what I mean? I said, see when the second goal went in, I was fucking livid. I was going off my tits. And I was going to my dad, and I had him by the jacket like this. And I'm going, I bet he fucking brings on a left back. I bet you the fucking stupid idiot brings on a fucking left back. And then what happens? Alex Cochrane's coming on, and I was like, oh, fucking
Go 5 at the back.
I have no idea what happened. I shook Kev's hand and I fucking started driving back down the road to Newcastle, try and salvage my Saturday.
So I think, Ando, you're right in terms of the whole, there isn't a good time, there's never a right time, but I think Saturday was the kind of, we've seen it before, right? Hearts get scudded 3-0 at Aberdeen, it should have been a lot more than 3. That's when, right, cool, manager, sit your arse down, that's not acceptable, right, cool, I'll fix it, you'll see a reaction, no bother at all, then your arse collapses away to Kilmarnock and we see the exact same thing. It's there you go, right, stick or twist, because you've not reacted for last time. Now you've got Saturday to react, and we've seen absolutely nothing on Saturday. But I left with 20 minutes to go or something. We'd only made 2 substitutions. We'd been 2-0 down for like 10 minutes at least, 15 minutes, and we'd made 2 substitutions. One of them was to go to 5 at the back. And I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What possibly are we doing here?
Damage limitation. What a lot of fucking pish.
Put 4 up front. Do you know what I mean? Go for it. Do Jimmy Calderwood stuff. Go for it. What you got to fucking lose? You're 2-0 down and you're down to 10 men. Your season's finished. Your job's on the line. What are you going to do? And that's what he did. He did fucking nothing. So I agree. I personally thought Hearts would stumble to the end of the season and get third. And I think that a summer transfer window, the excitement of Europe and stuff, would breeze into next season and Robbie would be fine or whatever. But I genuinely thought there's no way we'll get that performance at Tynecastle. I expected Hearts to show up on Saturday. I won't lie. I thought they'll do something because it's a home game. They want to have a point to prove, etc., etc. And I'm not crucifying them, right? But the Robert Snodgrass one for me was that confirmed all my fears about what's going on, because that was as professional a yellow card as you can get. He knew what he was doing. He has played in the English Premier League. He's played internationally. He's on a booking, and he wasn't his first attempt to get sent off. He had lunged in at least 2 times before, and was very lucky not to get hingweed. So again, it's a double-edged sword here, right? 1, he's an idiot, but 2, Robbie's a fucking idiot, because why did we not take him off? Why did you not take him off? He's on a booking, mate.
Fucking anonymous, like he wasn't even.
He can't play that.
He's on a booking.
He can't play
no, well, he probably can. He probably can, but there was no one getting any balls into his feet prior to that.
No, he cannot play that position. Yeah. He cannot.
But
he simply cannot.
The devil's
play that
advocate.
position.
That wasn't a booking, that challenge.
No, it wasn't a booking. However, like to Corbett's point, right, the boy, whoever it was, he fucking cut down.
He's lunged in. He's lunged in multiple times prior to that.
It's a nothing ball. The ball was going out for a fucking throw-in, right? There's no immediate danger. Yeah. You run like a fucking steam train. No, that steam train can run. Cut the boy down. Hold both hands up at the same time as you're doing it, as if to say, "Oh, I'm innocent. I'm innocent." Before you even strike the guy, and you fucking clean him out. Exactly. Stupid.
But again, that your manager is in there to protect you for that stuff. He's in there to protect the team. He's in there to protect what we're up to. You say, right, actually, let's sit down, right? Let's fucking sit down as 3 fucking total novices if it wants to, right? A game against St Mirren. What areas of the park do you think is going to be a battle, and we should probably try and win that? because they've got Gogic in there. They've got fucking other players in there. Probably midfield.
That's their only player.
That's
You're
fucking right.
Gogic is their only fucking player.
Can you believe it? But that's what it's all about. Their game plan is to win second balls, press us, put us out of rhythm, get on the second touch, make us make bad passes, make us take bad touches. And guess what? We got a man sent off because 2 times he was booked for taking a shite touch and then try to save it with a lunge and tackle. Robbie Neilson, you fucking idiot. There we go. Anyway, so what was the question? I don't even know what the question
was. Was it the right time for him to go? Was that? But then.
No, because it should have been fucking.
All right,
4
fair
months
enough,
ago,
fair enough,
anyway.
right? But so just to dovetail into that point,
I just want to point out I disagree with that. But
all right, fine, right. So
now is the right time.
So here's one, right? It's a good point to bring up now, right? So we talk about the amount of money that Neilson and /Savage has spent on players, and it's all about like trying to get better, right? So group stage football last year, third place finish. You need to kick on and be better than that, right? The signs have been clear for the last few weeks that that's not going to happen. Now, you as a board of directors have sat down and thought, right, okay, cool, we've got a decision to make here. Then we can maybe let this play out. He can maybe secure third. We can maybe get European football, or we can pull the fucking carpet out for underneath him, get him away to fuck, and now we're in a situation where we have absolutely, not that we ever had any guarantees, but we now could be staring down the barrel of a 5th place finish potentially, absolutely no European football, unstable squad, no direction. Now, I get that Savage is the director of football and he should be steering that ship. Doesn't really matter who's the manager, but that's a big fucking call to make with this amount of games left to play in the season. And I just worry that we've maybe cut our fucking legs off here.
See,
I think. No, I was going to. I agree. I get that right. But again, I'm going to go back. I'm just going to look back to the players. I think the players dictate that the decision. Like I don't think. Like we kind of played it off. Shanklin said it in the press. We didn't really know what we're doing, etc. Snodgrass has said it a couple of times. We don't know what Hearts is going to show up and all that. Literally points to the fact that they're clueless. Did any of you watch Stephen Kingsley when Cochrane came on?
I was away by that point, mate. I was gone.
He was as apoplectic as I was. He was screaming to the bench, going, like, "What are we doing? Aye. What's the shape? What's happening? Who's gone where?" And I'm like, how do a professional football team be like, right, let's plan for the best, but let's plan for the worst? You're telling me, right, remember, Robbie at his best, remember him, he used to say, oh, Willie Collins the referee, so we've trained all week with 10 players because we know statistically that we're going to get a man sent off. Like, what happened to planning for the worst? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's that thing there that, like, so professional football team, again, goes back to the Scottish Cup final. Oh, we didn't practice penalties and we didn't have an order for penalties. Am I supposed to listen to that and go, oh, what's he fucking like? I mean, fuck do you mean? It's a cup final. Somebody has to win it. So if you don't win it in 90 minutes, it's going to go to penalties. So surely you practice all week penalties. Who's hitting penalties? Because one, if I'm a professional football player, I'm thinking, I'm going to be shitting myself. It's penalties. So I'd probably like to know well in advance that, by the way, I'm hitting a penalty so I can get in the right mindset. I can practice. I can pick my spot. I can visualise myself. No. All right, boys. I don't know who wants to hit a penalty. I can stick your hand up. What about you? You fancy it? Do you know what I mean? And then, but we're laughing, but that happened. That happened. And then,
to be honest, that sums up a lot of shit that's fucking happened in the last while.
We laugh about it, but then Stephen Kingsley takes a 2-step run up.
Oh.
Like, you're telling me that you're in that huddle in the halfway line, and you've practiced all week. They didn't go, just fucking put your laces for it, just smash it down the middle. And then Craig Whiting steps up, the 5th penalty taker. Craig fucking Whiting to win the Scottish Cup. Robbie sends him up, and he sends it to a fucking under 18 goalkeepers. Basically chips it into his hand. The things that we did, that is what bugs me. That's where the arse has fell out this team. The rudderless nature of the game. We have no idea what's going on. We're bringing subs on, and the players are looking at each other, scratching their heads, saying, "Where do I go?" Because I was left back. I'm now clearly no left back because we've got another left back on. So where am I going? Shambles.
The weird thing is, I genuinely think the three of us can agree this is the best squad we've had in
100%.
It's
not an argument.
Long? Aye.
Since the Romanov era, let's be honest.
It's not it is not an argument. It is not an argument. And I'll say it before, and this isn't arrogance, right? You'll get a fluke defeat every now and again, like Celtic or Rangers will lose at Ibrox or Celtic Park, etc. Hearts shouldn't be getting beat at home to St Mirren. It doesn't. I've said before, and I don't know if I said it on the podcast, but St Mirren out of the Aberdeen Hibs trio when they were the chasing pack. St Mirren were the best team out of the three that we played, but still, Hearts should have enough to be better than them. And we should have lost by more. They missed 2 setters just before they scored, which are an absolute joke from us just standing about scratching our arse doing nothing. So the question that we started this was, why is he being sacked? That's how
have we answered that?
We have answered it.
Okay.
He's on a ridiculous run, and that's Andrew. You shared the stat in the thing with since January till now. We were 10 points in front of Aberdeen. We're now 2 points behind them. We have we now lost 6 in the last 7 games competitively.
Something like that. I've not got it in front of me, but he'll be thereabouts.
Probably that, yeah.
A shambles, an absolute shambles. When you look at the resource, the team, the style they play, etc.
I just want to clarify something as well. You're saying 6 and 7, but it's not just been 6 and 7. We've not had a good performance or a fluid performance for fucking, you tell me. When was the last time we had one?
Aberdeen.
And you see all these people on Twitter that don't support Hearts, don't watch Hearts, and you're like, why are they sacking him now? He's not in a bad position type thing. But it's no, you watch it week in, week out, and you're just like, it's been pish. And we've been lucky. Last season we were lucky that Aberdeen, Hibs, whoever was shite. And we're lucky that Aberdeen and Hibs have had a shit season this season.
No. To answer your question, Dan, 3 months. The 18th of January was the last time I seen a good performance for Hearts, is when we beat a meagre Aberdeen 5-0. And even then, that scoreline flatters to it flatters to deceive, because you know what? They were absolutely fucking abject. But it's one of those ones we capitalised on it. But that was a different team. Like, if the ability to capitalise on weakness in that team that played Aberdeen, it just was completely vacant against St Mirren. Not that they had much weakness, because they fucking steamrolled us in pretty much all areas of the park. But no fight.
Again, let's mirror it to Aberdeen. That was a team that you could tell had stopped playing for their manager.
Yep.
Stopped doing the basics, stopped running. Look at Duke or whatever he's called. He was terrible that night. Absolutely embarrassing. I think 3 or goals came from a side that he should have been tracking back. And now look at them. Now that they've got a manager, they got rid of the manager. They've got a new lease of life. And he's scoring every week. He was player of the month last month. So it's an absolute shambles. And look, I'll end this bit here on a slight positive thing to say that Robbie Neilson was the right man at the right time and done a good job for Hearts. Right, Robbie Neilson will go down as one of the best Hearts managers that we've had. He just will, right? And I feel sorry for him. I don't know if it's the Craig Levein in him. I don't know what it is. It's his own stubborn nature of not being able to see, or reluctantly seeing, what everybody else is cost him his job. Because I know his heart's as fuck. I know that he loves the club. His record speaks for itself. He's one of the best performing Hearts managers that we've had in terms of top flight. But now was definitely the right time. The club have done the right thing. The wheels have fallen off, and the club can't free fall all the way back. Because again, we could potentially, I think, because there's 2 games left, and Hibs are 5 points behind us, I think we're potentially going to be all right for not finishing in the top 6. But that is at one point on Saturday, given today, if Hibs had won, that was a realistic possibility that we would be 6 or something by the end of the game next Saturday. So Robbie Neilson deserves loads of credit. He really does. He's a one of those guys that I wished could be better. I wish I could have liked him. I genuinely do. I tried hunters and hunters and hunters to like him, but everything he did just fucking annoys me. Put a jacket on, you idiot. Like, you're a fucking grown adult wearing a jumper with no sleeves. Grow up. Put a jacket on. Sitting in front of us at that cup final thing, saying, "Oh, I want Rangers to get to penalties and pumped." and then 4 days later, that was the shite that we watched. And I don't know if we ever spoke about it on the podcast, but
we gave up at that point, to be honest with you.
But the thing that drives me even more insane was the fact that Robbie's big plan for that game, if Boyce never made it, was for Andy Halliday to play in the fucking 10. That was it. That was the big plan. No change shape because we didn't have the players. No change the tactics. No, just put Andy Halliday in there and fucking hope for the best. And they're the stupid wee things there that kick Robbie Neilson in the teeth and why he's out of a job. It was the same. Rangers at home were 10 unbeaten, 9 unbeaten or whatever it is, bounce into that game, full of confidence, and he chucks an 18-year-old idiot on. He tries to play high and wide, he tries to play Shankland in the midfielder, and we should have got scudded 5 or 6. That should have been the alarm bell ringing for everybody. So that's why he's been sacked. There is absolutely no argument about it. Right, Tam, any questions or anything coming up on YouTube that we want to talk about, or any questions for Twitter that we haven't kind of covered?
Good luck, Tam, because there's about 10,000 in that chat.
You know what? I'm gonna speak to David Youngs here because a few times he's came up here. So a few times he said. So one of the questions is, why don't the players ignore the manager and find a solution? The players should be not be exempt from criticism. Are we?
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. But again, I work in retail, right? I go to a shop, staff day shite. If the staff are doing shite, for me, it's a reflection of their manager. So it's a reflection of the management team. It's a reflection of standards, professional pride. All of that comes for the top. And again, yes, you're right. The players cannot get away with it. And I don't think they are getting away with it. But that, for me, Keo Mortazoglu played 5 games on the bounce, in 5 of them. I didn't pick him. What was the guy? Thing with Young never picked him. Robbie picked him. Robbie's played Barry Mackay every single week. Robbie never took off Robert Snodgrass. Robbie went to 5 at the back when we went 2-0 down. Robbie's in charge of training and has watched us concede the same goal from corners and set plays week after week after week because we mark zonally, not man for man, and we can't do it because we're not fucking good enough to do it. Robbie did that, not the players. Robbie put Ross Stewart in goals. A goalkeeper I told you 2 years ago was dog shit, and guess what? He's fucking dog shit. Why? Because the stats tell you that he's dog shit. That's Robbie. That's not the players. That's Robbie that does that.
It was ridiculous. That is like I know we signed Xander Clark, right? And when we signed Xander Clark, the big question was, right, okay, cool, that's your backup goalie. Who's your third choice? Oh, it's shit. It's still that cheesy cunt, right? Yeah. Why are we keeping him? Why does he have a contract? Oh, because he's a good guy to have around the dressing room. I don't give a fuck. Put that shit in the bin.
I don't want good guys in the dressing room.
No, I want dickheads in the dressing room.
Yeah, exactly. You want people that want to win because that's what matters. Yep. And that's what matters the most. So, you're right. The players aren't exempt. The players have been in their shell for a long, long time. But for me, I'll go back to it. That's a manager's job, is to either there has to be a consequence for underperformance. They have to get a kick in the arse when they need it. How many times has Robbie just absolutely hid at post-match interviews, etc., took no responsibility for what we're seeing on the park?
Copy and paste.
That translates into players.
Aye.
Translates onto players, mate. It's the same in any job. You know yourself. You show up the morrow to your work at 9:02, and you have had because you're running late. You have your excuse in your head ready in case your manager chins you. Guess what? See if your manager doesn't chin you. See tomorrow, you'll show up at 9:05 because you think, well, I got away with it yesterday. I'll use the same excuse. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it is. As soon as you bend standards and you let folks slip below it, you're fucked.
On the back of that as well, though, who has he improved? Which player has he improved?
I know. That's the thing. I've said it hundreds of times before, right? Good managers make average players good and good players great. You look at Barry Mackay, his performance is nosedive. Yep. Even Shankland scored his 20th goal of the season at Easter Road. For the next 5 games, Robbie played him in midfield. Why? What the fuck is that all about? Cochrane. Alex Cochrane has been Hearts' best player this season outside of probably Shankland. He can't get a game.
Yeah.
Can he play? Robert Snodgrass came in, was
caviar.
Caviar. And but he was caviar because he had legs around him, like Devlin, etc., etc. Devlin's not been playing. Devlin gets chucked in on Saturday after months out. Halliday scoring goals right up until his concussion thing, scoring nearly every week. Chucked out the team. Now he's chucked back in, and they've put him as a defensive midfielder. It's like, give them a chance. Give them a chance. Like, I know we didn't, and I'll say before, when a team's performing on the park, no one cares about youth players, right? If youth players are good enough, they'll get their chance, right? But who are we bringing on? Do you know what I mean? You're telling me that there isn't somebody in the youth team, Finlay Pollock or whoever, that isn't as good as Keogh?
Yep.
Because I'd rather see fucking Finlay Pollock play than Keogh.
Because
players not pay fucking $500,000 for something like that as well. Let's be fair.
Players like Finlay Pollock will run through fucking walls for the team just because they're a young lad. They're getting their first break. It might not be the club you follow, but it doesn't matter. You're a young lad getting your first chance in the big time. You're gonna fucking try and impress. You're not just a fucking European journeyman.
Right. Well, look, see the day, right? Let's pile on. We might as well. That's what it's all about. Fucking Keogh, Atkinson, I think James Hill potentially. We're at the Foundation of Heart ceremony.
That's three of the worst cunts ever.
Awful. But anyway, Atkinson did an interview, and basically the gist of it was he told everybody to chill out. They'll have hundreds of meetings this week, and everything will be fine. We're third anyway. Well, no, we're fucking not. And that is the attitude of the players, where they didn't even realise that they fucked it, and they're 2 points behind Aberdeen. I think it sums it up. So you're right, the players are not exempt from this, but for me it starts at the top, and that's a byproduct of having a weak manager, and sadly that's where we're at there. Anything else, Sam? Any other questions?
You've not been paying attention, have you?
Nope. Let's move on to the next point, and we'll cover it later.
Thanks very much to the 200 and odd viewers that are actually watching just now. Continue chatting in the group chat, even though Tam's fucking ignoring you. But I'll keep an eye on it. And if there's any good questions,
this all came from David Young's that chat there.
Fair. Right.
Graham Duffy asked, "What's Edmard Malafeev up to these days?"
Oh, he'll be dead. He went the way of the dodo along with fucking Vladimir, didn't he?
New on Vlad's sub.
Exactly.
Didn't he, Hammond? Was there any questions on Twitter or whatever? Because you told me there was hundreds of questions on Twitter, and so far I've asked you twice, and you've given me two things.
You know what? An interesting fact. It's came up a few times. It's savage above criticism. That's what David McClure said. His recruitment in January wasn't good enough. Have we seen him for that?
But how do we know?
True.
How do we know?
Have we seen them play?
How do we know when we've watched guys that were superb for us, who are now a shadow of the player they were? Stephen Kingsley, awful.
He's terrible.
Looks terrible. He looks absolutely terrible. Kai Rouse, we give him a 5-year deal because he was outstanding in the World Cup, and we thought we'll sell him in the summer for big money. You'd be lucky to get him for Cowden Beef. He's fucking murder. And that's Hearts. We've sucked the life out of him. Barry Mackay, terrible. Wouldn't give him a start. He's sucking the life out of Lawrence Shankland. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to get out because he's been played here. When your best midfielder is your striker dropping into midfield to get the ball, which he was on Saturday, you're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And then you look at things like Alan Forrest, Nathaniel Atkinson, Toby Sibic, all these players, they've regressed. Toby Sibic has had to get a game, has had to turn into a centre back when he's a defensive midfielder. That's what we did. Do you know what I mean? Then you look at Peter Haring, we signed as a centre back, we've turned him into a midfielder, etc., etc. Alex Cochrane was brilliant, and now can he get a game and goes back. So there is 100% question marks on recruitment, absolutely. Because
but then to temper that thought, right? Like, how much of that is a byproduct of Neilson just being a shite hawk, right? So you get the next best manager, whoever it is. Like, fucking, you get Tam in next week, for example. Turns out to be fucking Pep Guardiola. They all start playing a game and start getting back to the heights. I think all the players that you've mentioned do have the potential and they are good enough players for the Hearts team. They just need the right fucking encouragement and the right management structure in place, because they've demonstrated it. However, but I do get the point that there are some there that are crap. I would bin. Get them a fuck. Nathaniel Atkinson, prime candidate. Get him away. James Hill, get him away. Like but
surely
enough good players there to do the job.
To go back on that though, Atkinson's a fucking internationalist. James Hill has been signed for £1 million. Surely these boys aren't bad players.
And that's what the point is. I've said it before and I'll go back to it. Good managers make average players good players great. And Robbie has been handed an unbelievably good squad and can't get a tune at them. He doesn't know his best 11. He doesn't know his best formation. He can't get the right tactics to suit the right players. You're asking Mikey Smith to be a box-to-box Andy Robertson wing-back. It's not his game. It's not what he does. You've asked Stephen Kingsley to step in and play as a left centre-back. It's not his job. It's not what he does. You've asked Kairos looked brilliant at World Cup, playing in a back four beside another centre-half, and looked brilliant with Harry Souttar, looked great with Craig Halkett. I know what they will continue to play free at the back and expose them defensively all the time. Yes, everything's under the microscope. Everything's under the microscope when everything isn't gone right. 100%. It absolutely is. But again, I think a better manager gets more out of these players than Robbie's getting. So Savage gets a pass for me because that it's not like he's handing him Mallory Martin and crap like that. These are good players, like you just said there, Tam. You know, Robert Snodgrass has played in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? Clinton Hill played.
Clinton Hill, fucking hell.
He used to play with Rangers.
The American.
James Hill is with Bournemouth or whatever it is. Like they're of a good calibre of player. Guran Cool or whatever. Can't get a game for us, scoring on international duty, etc., etc. Like, you're right. Some of the stuff has looked utter shite, but right now, I think let's get a better manager, play in a system that suits the players, get the best players in the best positions, and then let's see who's shite and who's not.
I suppose that's where the pressure comes on Savage next, though. Get a better manager.
Well, this is it, right? All those questions like that I can see on the YouTube stream.
So who's the next manager? Who's that?
That's probably the next logical thing to speak about, isn't it? Like,
well, and luckily, who's next is on our list. So I think short term it'll be Naismith. It makes sense. He's at the club. He's there. I'm assuming McCulloch and Forrest are going as well. I don't know if that was in the statement.
It wasn't.
It
wasn't. No, yeah. It just said Neilson, which I was surprised about, and I'd like to see the both of them go as well, because we've seen it before when fucking Levine left and we kept all the background staff there. There was no change.
Aye, and sure. I think it's the right, and that's nothing against any of them, by the way. I think Lee McCulloch and Gordon Forrester have done a good job, just like Robbie's did a good job. Everything in life, this is what bugs me all the time on Twitter and all that. This isn't a knee jerk, right? Everybody has a shelf life as a manager. Everybody. Yep. Jurgen Klopp has gone through this right now at Liverpool, right? He's there like Robbie. Robbie's lasted this long because of the results he's got. Do you know what I mean? That's why he's here. It's why he's had the benefit of the doubt from Hearts fans. You know, he's lost 2 cup finals. He's 14 straight defeats against the Old Firm, pumped silly in Europe, etc., etc. He's here because he's got a good derby record and he's got a brilliant record outside of playing the Old Firm and had his third in playing European football. So everybody has a shelf life. Everybody. And folk, I don't know why people are so adverse to that. Just because you want better or think that we should be doing better doesn't mean that you're some mad anti-Hearts crackpot. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can all see that Hearts should be better than getting beat against St Mirren. That doesn't mean that you're mental because of that, right? So, who's next?
I don't know. There's the question, isn't it? Everyone's asking for us to predict someday. So, Corbett, who do you want? Who do you want?
Well, Shanks predicted Paul Hartley.
No.
Didn't it? Start of the season.
I think that was 2 seasons ago, man.
He said Paul Hartley.
On that note, by the way, I wouldn't want anyone in Scotland. Like, currently in the Scottish game, don't want anyone.
Don't be a snob, Tam.
I don't think.
No, like who would you take? Who would you take out of Scottish game right now? I think we go out with.
Pogba.
Fucking.
Oh, you'd fucking
Easy,
love that,
easy,
wouldn't
aye.
you? You'd love that. Barry Robson.
I think
Somebody's asked for you, Ando's anti-Norma. Fucking
Anti-Norma. Well,
Can we get Ando's anti-Norma?
she's as big a cunt as Robbie, so get her in.
I think. Cheers, man. I think. I think Kev might have a number. So, I don't know.
I don't know what to add to that.
I don't know. I've seen some names and stuff kick about. I think Naismith will get the job until the end of the season if he steadies the ship, etc., etc. If we start losing games and then shite, then I think they'll look to bring someone in pretty quickly. I don't think they'll rush it. I've seen some people talk about Stephen Robinson for St Mirren, so no for me.
Nope.
I know we laugh about it before, but like Chris Wilder, for example, he's in the job at Watford only to the end of the season.
Oh, really?
Weirdly seems to be Hearts daft, always at Hearts games, etc., etc. I'd take him. You always go back to guys like Alex Neil, obviously with the connection with Joe Savage, etc., etc. I don't think. Is he manager at Stoke? I think he left Sunderland to go to Stoke or something like that, didn't he?
I have no idea.
I actually meant to check this because he left Sunderland to go to Stoke. I don't even know if he's still there.
Tell you
I
don't want, right? And I've seen this a bit on Twitter in the last couple of years. I don't know how to pronounce his first name, but his second name looks like Knutson. Is it Shiel Knutson?
See, I wouldn't be against that one. By the way.
Why? Tell me why.
A wee bit different.
Is he Danish or something?
Oh, he's fucking
Norwegian.
I was going to say Norwegian,
Aye.
Scandinavian, whatever.
Scandinavian things.
Get
Everybody
that
goes to
in the fucking bin, right?
It's not going to be.
Aye.
It's not going to be him.
Norway.
It's not going to be somebody like that.
Norway, Finland, and Sweden, absolute shite standard of football. I looked up his win record. His win record is less than Robbie Neilson's second term, right? What is he going to know, right? He'll know how to dig his fucking car out of a snow, a snowdrift. Fuck off. Not interested.
It'll be Will Renz or whatever it is, the guy that's the championship manager that's
the guy that gets charged however much money a week.
I don't think it'll be. I think you can instantly rule out your Neil McCanns, etc., etc. I can see that the Evening News are trying to bam Hearts fans up by having Craig Levein and the 5 managers that they could go for. Just nonsense because they want to laugh. Just like Craig Fowler was having a laugh on the commentary on fucking Saturday as well. He's a shithawk and all. But I don't think it'll. Oh, I can, mate. No. I know.
You'd be glad you were at the game and fucking walking in at that point, but aye.
I don't know who I think the manager will be. I don't know. But I can tell you that it won't be somebody that isn't and doesn't have a track record. I'll be very shocked if it's a punt.
Then
would you expect another Daniel Stendhal type thing though?
Nope. The one thing I was curious about, which is the bookies are normally a good bellwether of popular opinion and normally have their finger on the pulse. So let's have a look at Sky Bet. Manager specials. Next permanent, Nottingham Forest manager, West Ham, and that's it. Hearts aren't even listed in the manager specials. Sky Bet do not give a fuck about the Hearts management race, and neither should they. But that'll be one to keep an eye on. That'll give you an idea. But I don't think we're big enough to grace their pages. So I don't know. I get the whole point of maybe looking abroad. When we've looked abroad, like outside of the Romanov era, has it worked? Nah.
You know what? The one thing on it though, I hope that we're in a much better position now with a Savage, CEO, what's his name, in place, that we have Andrew McKinley, that we have a proper recruitment drive rather than fucking. How long did it take the last time to get Stendhal on? 8 weeks or something?
Aye, but that was because fucking remember the last time, so that people can remember and jog your memory. Craig Levein got sacked for being the manager, but didn't get sacked for being sporting director. So was part of the person or the panel that interviewed to bring in his replacement, and fucking still hung about.
Was he
the
the one that showed
and Daniel
Stendhal
had to use his coaches? Do you know what I mean? It's just embarrassing. That won't happen again. You've got guys like Nathan Evans as well, just for down south. It won't be a punt. I can guarantee that. It won't be a punt. Hearts have got too much riding on it for it to be just a random punt. It will also won't be any ex-players, so I can tell
Which
you that
is
right
the
now.
way it should be.
It won't be anybody.
Nathan Evans.
Aye,
Who's
it won't
that?
be Paolo. Won't be Paolo Sergio. He just got sacked for Southampton. He won't. It won't be Paolo Sergio. It's not going to be Paul Hartley. It's not going to be Neil McCann. Like, just get all that out your head. It's going to be none of those people. So there you go. There's answered your questions. Not a fucking clue. Not a clue. But I said it last week. You don't not sack your bird for fear of getting.
Do you think
nobody able to get another one? The wheels have
I
came off.
forgot his name as well. Head of youth might have a chance of getting into him as well with Naismith. Frankie McAvoy. Sorry, there we go.
Right, Frank McAvoy. Well, I think he did.
He done Preston
he stepped in.
like interim as well, or caretaker, and then got the job permanent.
No,
I don't think so. I don't think so. He'll maybe come in and help. It'll be a bit like it's a mirror image of Barry Robson at Aberdeen, where they got Steve Agnew or something. Is number 2. It'll be very similar to that for Naismith to steady the ship to the end of the season. But aye, you can forget about Craig Levine's and all that crap. It will not happen.
You're getting called out, by the way, Corbett. Because you said Nathan
Well,
Evans instead of Nathan Jones.
Nathan
Nathan
Evans is that
your-
stupid
he's your-
Tellerman guy,
he's your
innit?
mate,
The
mate.
sea
He's
shanty
your
boy.
man. Mate,
my
I
mate,
did
mate.
say that, fuck.
Aye. He's my mate. You had an opportunity to get
And I-
one
I
over
said
the
mate,
time
mate.
and you fucked
that
it.
Nathan
Nathan
Jones,
sorry.
fine. See Frankie McAvoy. Who's that roster that we had fucking on? Is it Sam_LW? I'd put the question on Twitter, and he's like, Frankie McAvoy, makes sense. Blah blah blah. Nah, get your fucking opinion in the bin, man. Shite. Definitely not Frankie McAvoy. Not for me. No chance. Bye.
Aye. Nah, it won't be him. It won't be him anyway. Right, anything else on YouTube? Any other questions when that? Is there any names, common names coming up?
To be
or is
fair,
it
it was
just
Nathan
Parr?
Jones until you said Alex Neil. Graham Arnold, Australian manager. Yeah.
Is that the Australian guy? Fuck off. He's a bigger wank than Ange Postecoglou.
Accurate. Graham Potter.
Hasselhutl. Aye, that boy.
Are you telling me you
No.
can't pronounce his fucking name properly, Tam?
I
Ralph
nearly said
Hasenhüttl.
Hasselhoff. Yeah.
You know who he is. Don't play dumb. No,
he's
is
not
he
going to
fucking-
come
I
to
did
Hearts.
also see
He's not coming
somebody
to
say Scott Parker. He's not going to come to Hearts either.
Absolutely not. He just
Yeah.
got sacked off a Belgian team.
No, and
Excuse
we've
me.
just sacked a manager for continually wearing jackets with no sleeves. I'm not getting a fucking another knobhead with a jacket with no sleeves on it. Not for me. Chris Wilder is top of Corbett's picks. Wait till the summer when Watford sack their manager
Yeah,
every
true.
15 weeks anyway or something. So he'll be out of job in the summer and come up to the Gorgie. Right. So unless there's anything on Twitter or YouTube, Tam, that we haven't covered, we'll go into our
Go
last
for it.
question. So there's nothing.
Um,
The busiest comment sections that we've had in this inundated with questions on Twitter so far. You've said 3
we've
things.
genuinely covered everything. Like, we've talked about who we want. That is, Ando will back me up here. It's mostly
Tam,
who do you want to see as the manager.
Tam, I will never back you up. You've looked at those comments, printed them off, and put them in a bag and sent them to the wrong fucking address.
I've actually
That's what
wrote
you've
notes to Eminem.
Right. The $1 million
Yes.
question, Ando. Can we save the season? What's your
For the
predictions?
rest of the season, or just for the next game?
Go for it. No, go
I
for
think
the rest of the season.
I'll be honest. Whoever comes in as caretaker, if we make a caretaking appointment before Saturday, I think he'll get a reaction result out of them. We'll beat Hibs. Because we normally beat Hibs at Easter Road. Not to put the touch of death on it, we'll beat Hibs. We will fail against Ross County, and that. You look at the points that are required in order to get a third place finish. Aberdeen are going to drop points against Rangers most likely, and they'll win against Ross County. We'll win against Hibs and fail against Ross County. After that, it's anyone's fucking guess. I'll be honest. it really depends on who we get home and away. I know you're only likely going to get 3 games at home in the post-split. You certainly won't get 4. Then I've not had a look to carve it up to see who is going where. But either way, the odds are fucking stacked against us. I've desperately hope that we can manage a 4th place finish. But I'll be honest, I think with what we've done today, the club have rolled the dice and decided to sacrifice European football and a 4th place finish this season. I reckon we'll finish 5th. Genuinely.
I'm going to be the polar opposite. I think we've saved it. I think we've saved this. Every indicator that we've had, Robbie wasn't turning this round. We'd finished 6 under Robbie. But I'll caveat that, Andel, by saying that if Hearts win on Saturday, if Hearts win the Edinburgh Derby, Hearts will beat Ross County, 100%. I think there'll be, hopefully, we see the reaction that we've been hoping to see for the past 4 or 5 games on Saturday. It's a derby. This team at least have experience of beating this side, have done so before, have beat them at the last time they were at Easter Road, so should have some confidence from that. Hibs today lost again. I think that's 4 straight defeats for them. Again, they're back to sacking the manager. The rumours are that because of the sad death of Ron Gordon, etc., that the family want out. They're looking to sell, etc., etc. They've not got the money to sack Johnson. The usual Tesco coming soon pish. But Saturday is the caveat for me. I think if Hearts win the Edinburgh Derby on Saturday, Hearts will bounce into the top 6 with a bit of swagger, a bit of confidence.
And if not?
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping to see. If not, yeah, I'm with you, Sando. I'm with you. But a bit of short-term pain for long-term gain, I'm absolutely I'm for. If you know what I mean. I don't say Hearts wouldn't have got European football with Robbie. I think I said it to the guys that set up the back of Section G. They would have been sick of fucking hearing me say it on Saturday that things will get a hell of a lot worse before they get any better under Robbie, and that's what I think Saturday proved for the board, which is why they had to make the decision, etc. Because Saturday was unacceptable. Tam, what's your opinion?
I agree with you. To be honest, we've seen the reaction that's happened at Aberdeen, happened at Motherwell. It needed to happen. If it's going to happen now, we'd take it. Realistically, we just need to win our games out with the Old Firm and beat Aberdeen. We're going to have Aberdeen at home, right?
Likely, yes.
Yep, we should play Aberdeen at home.
That is how we get a 3rd place.
What is the situation with Hibs? Are they looking at? I'm assuming that because Livingston gets scudded off Motherwell,
they're out like aye. So your top 6 is pretty much set like
as it
likely,
is.
Yeah.
Aye. So Hibs can't be caught by Livingston or whoever.
But it's not going to happen.
I doubt it would happen the way things are going.
Aye.
Yeah.
Okay. So Motherwell aren't they creeping up?
5 points off at the moment.
Yeah. Motherwell are not going to do it.
Okay. So we'll play Hibs and Aberdeen and Celtic at Tynecastle, and we'll have to go to Ibrox and
and we'll probably lose points at both of those
in the split.
As in,
100%, and we would lose to Celtic. So you're looking at 6 points.
So we need to win these next 2 games, but again, I feel doing that, Rangers and Celtic are realistically not going to drop points against anyone else, are they?
Well,
I think my worry is that Rangers' season's finished.
Also, Celtic season's finished because they've won the league. However, they can beat the points total set by their Invincibles team a couple of seasons ago, so they're going to be going for that. No one is taking points off Celtic between now and the end of the year.
All right, we might have fucked it, boys. Chris Wilson has just pointed out that Livy are only a point behind Hibs. But Livy just seen one free fall. That's why we're pointing that out.
I said Motherwell were well behind.
Well, thanks, Chris.
Livy aren't going to do it.
Thanks, Chris.
I'll tell you now. Chris, cheers, Chris. Livy are not going to make top 6. Absolutely no. My shit will turn purple and taste like rainbow sherbet before that happens.
I'm looking forward to watching that. I think we'll see it. We'll get to know. So whoever the guy, is it Derek Young? Is that who it is?
David
Young. That asked the question. Chris Young or something about the players. David Young.
Somebody Young.
David Young.
David, yeah.
David Young. So David's point will be proved or disproved on Saturday, because if we don't see a reaction for the players, then the players are every bit as culpable as Robbie Neilson or whatever. So Saturday is a big barometer. You get the opportunity to basically get their manager sacked, get everybody back on side. You know, that's the thing with the football club, as mental as it is, your season can almost be salvaged. You win a derby. Like, do you know what I mean? It's a kickstarter for a lot of things. I think it was a kickstarter for Robbie. Second spell round, they started to win derbies. It turns the tide, etc., etc. So, yeah, Saturday was a big one for me. If we can see a reaction to the game on Saturday, I think we'll be there or thereabouts, still in the battle for third. But it's all about how we go and where we go. Because right now, I wouldn't be surprised if Aberdeen beat Rangers. That's why yesterday was so important, to keep even just a tiny bit in front was so important, because, like you said, we would have been a point behind, two in front, a point behind, two in front, as we played like Celtic and Rangers and all that in the split, and then played each other. That had ultimately been the decider. But now we're a point behind with a side that I couldn't trust to win at home to St Mirren, that I'm not going to trust them fully to go and win at Easter Road, and I don't trust them fully to beat Ross County at home. It's going to be tough. But Saturday's a big one for me. You just want to see a reaction. You just want to see
Kim's fucking mental because it's not even on telly either.
Oh mate, don't get me started on that. I'm already upset Hearts as a club. But I
to be honest, it'd be the worst game derby ever, on the basis of the two teams currently standing at the moment, isn't it?
Fuck it, we're going after everybody, and we'll go after them anyway. Agreeing to move the game for a
free. Right, go for that. Yes,
you got every Hearts. You got a Hearts. You got 18,000 Hearts fans, and went, right, everybody, show your hands. Put your hand up if you want a 3 o'clock Saturday derby kickoff. 18,000 people would have put their fucking hand up, but we've agreed to move it to 12:30 so that Hibs can sell fucking streams. And the Hearts fans think that that's some form of win. When wait until Hearts and we start moving derbies left, right, and centre. So every derby that isn't on Sky now will be moved for streams. So get used to your 12 o'clock kickoffs, your 12:15 kickoffs, etc. Because that's the future. Because of what we've agreed here, that's why it's shite. And also, and I didn't care what anybody says, I get it. I know it's probably because of the feelings towards the club, but you don't launch a brand new product in a new shop and then launch sale on the same day, because guess what? Everybody's going to buy sale. You do not launch, come to the Gorgie Suite, watch the Edinburgh Derby, when the Edinburgh Derby isn't sold out. Sell fucking tickets to the game, get people in the stadium, get them behind the team, then sell tickets to come and watch it in the boozer and make money or whatever. That, for me, that's wrong. It's a wrong outlook. It's a wrong mentality. You want fans in the stadium, no fans in your bar. So that's another thing put to right, because that fucking annoyed me. And it might be just because I'm annoyed with the club or whatever, but still, you didn't do that. Again, I work in retail. If I walked into any of my shops and that's what they did, oh, by the way, we put sale right next to the brand new product.
I just say you're idiotic. You're beautiful when you're angry. Buy
it. Mate, I've been so looking forward to this for so ages, innit? Who else wants it, man? Fucking geese the curry shed. I'll go after them again. It's been ages since we went after the curry shed.
By the way, you fucking laugh, but right, that thing's still fucking shut down. It's never been reopened.
Mate, I know. Tell me about it. In here, two things.
Fucking hell.
Why the fuck did we tweet that way? No. Tweet the game normal. Stop doing that. It's shite. It looks terrible. And 3. 2. Why the fuck is the PA announcer guy telling me that Kyogo scored for set? Who fucking cares? Read the score out your knob and shut up. No one cares. I want to know that they got a penalty and they scored. This isn't Hampden. It's Tynecastle, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, Scott Wilson used to call them the wee team, or wouldn't even name them, and used to play like stupid songs that if we called St Mirren Snakes, it'd play a game that made it sound like they were snakes or whatever. Here we're like, I'm getting the glow down and James Tavernier scored his 100th goal for Rangers today and a 3-2 defeat. It's no Soccer Saturday, mate. It's Tynecastle. It's Tynecastle. Tell me the score and shut up.
Actually, don't even tell me the score. I don't give a fuck. I'm already raging at the fact that my team's got beat.
Just put it on the screen. Put it on the screen, man. That's what it's there for. Right, Tam, any questions coming through?
Alan Miller has asked, by working in retail, do you mean Avon?
Yeah. Mate, you don't get to look this good. No having Avon products in your
Some
house.
good skincare there. Other than that, David Young's made a good point. Give your money to Hibs TV with a pay-per-view. David Bivers has asked best formation going forward.
We don't have the time to go into that.
But that's the fucking issue, though, isn't it? Realistically, our manager didn't know either, and we don't know. Fucking April the 9th now.
We don't know. When everybody's fit, I don't know. I think 4-2-3-1 suits the players that we have, but we apparently played 4-2-3-1 on Saturday when it was Doug. 3-4-3 doesn't work. 4-3-3 doesn't work. 4-4-2 is for Subbuteo.
Let's bring that back. 4-4-2. That's going to win. It's the only one that nobody does anymore.
Why don't we just put a big man up front as well?
That's a
guy beside him.
That's a Shanks shout.
That's why it might
4-4-2. Anything else? YouTube comment wise?
Predictions for Saturday. I suppose that's what we're coming on to, isn't
here
it?
we go. Right.
I forgot that we had to do that. Right, well, we'll start with you, Tam, since you're a happy clapper.
No, probably, to be honest.
Hibs 1, Hearts 0.
I am in Tam's boat. I think it'll be 0-0. I think both clubs can agree on cutting the kick-off time to 12 o'clock. If they could both agree and shake hands right now to get a draw and get out of Dodge, they would shake hands and would finish 0-0 or whatever, because he's under severe pressure, and whoever we chuck into the hot seat, they'll not want to get off to a losing start, because whoever it is will have protests in the plaza the following week. Here, why are we 12:30 versus Ross County? Surely that's on Sky.
This isn't a case of picking it, right? This is to do with the amount of games that have been shown from Tynecastle. They've got an opportunity to show one more, because
can we also just say that the last derby wasn't on Sky, and it was at Tynecastle.
Aye.
Right.
Well, fuck it. Doug shit anyway.
That doesn't matter, Tam.
Shite.
That's why they picked it, is because they've got to fill the quota.
Like, surely they should have just picked up.
Aye.
If you look back on it.
Well, there's one Edinburgh derby left at Tynecastle, but again, I couldn't care less. Keep them out, man. Who picked Hearts versus Ross County for Sky?
See how we're talking like caretaker and
stuff.
Can we just have Gary Locke just for the derby?
However, can I just give you a faint glimmer?
No, if you're going to be fucking Mr. Bill Gates Sky, I didn't
know
want the ins and outs house.
The faint glimmer of a silver lining is if it's on telly, it means I don't have to fucking drive up. So I won't be there.
Oh, very true.
So that means Hearts will probably win.
It's caveated by the fact that we've been absolute shite on the telly. Terrible. I think Easter Road, the Viaplay Scottish Cup or whatever is, I think, the only decent performance.
Take away, just add Sky then. Just when we're live on Sky, we're fine.
No.
Right, before we round it off, is there anything else? What about your numerous Twitter questions?
We've covered
that
all
you
them,
had?
to be fair. What about any chance of Scott Arfield joining Hearts in the summer, and maybe Ryan Jack? Corbett?
Motherfucker.
Cool. Right, okay.
I'll ask. I played golf on Wednesday. I'll ask him.
That Ryan Jack, aye. Okay, cool. Right.
Aye. Me and Jacko, mate. I'd greet my eyes out. I'm just putting that out there. Get him in his caretaker. Fuck it. That'll be some done.
Right, they done.
Right. Oh well. That was fun. I'm not gonna lie, mate.
It's been a while since it was that raging, to be honest.
I'll end it by saying, just so that, because I know folk have said that I'm not a Hearts fan. Or
you know, really?
I'll end it by saying, again, mate, I'm not a Hearts fan. I was only in Tynecastle till fucking 10 o'clock at night or whatever it was on Friday, fixing things up and all that. But we'll end it by saying a genuine thanks to Robbie Neilson, because he came back, he was the right man at the right time. He's did a great job with Hearts. He genuinely has. His record speaks for itself, but like I said, everything has a shelf life. Everything comes to an end. It's sad to see it end the way that it has. He's a Scottish Cup winner. He's played in the Champions League with Hearts. You know, he has done a good job at Hearts. It unfortunately came to an end, sadly. But these things happen, and I'll end it by saying, like, well done to the club as well. That is a bold choice. Everything that we've asked for the club today for the whole thing with Levine and Stendhal and Cathro was learn for their mistakes, learn as a club, and we've done it. Like, the argument could have been, should this have been after Aberdeen, should it have been after Kilmarnock? They've given the manager the time, the chance to turn it round. They've backed their man, etc., and they've reacted the way they needed to. So sad to see Robbie go. Goes with our best. I wish him all the best in the future. It just wasn't to be. And Hearts, as we say all the time, Hearts will always be Hearts, and whoever gets the job walks into one of the best jobs in Britain, one of the best jobs in Scotland, and he'll get the full backing of everybody behind him as long as he fucking puts on a decent performance. All right, cool. Right, boys. See you on Saturday for more Tears and Snorters.
All the best, lads.
Thanks to everybody on YouTube. Thanks to everybody on Twitter for getting involved. Appreciate it.
Nice one. All the best.
All right.
Cheers.
See you later. Corgero.